So, Dave, will tenants do away with the office entirely in a post-COVID world?
Most definitely not. The office has a major role to play in any business, any organization. It's a place where companies such as Baker Street need to come together as a team, share ideas, and some of the creativity that we need in the property environment is it's important that we share it with our staff and everyone who comes into our office. I think if you're looking for innovation and creativity, which nearly every company is, you need a home, you need a place to come to. You also need a place to leave from. You need to be able to leave a work situation and go into an environment such as home, where you can detach yourself from that work environment. But offices are here to stay, whether we see it in the form of the shared office facility showing a lot more growth. I can see that happening. I can see the need for shared office facilities in decentralized locations where staff can access them easily from home. But your home base, your regional office, your head office, the main office of your organization will continue to be a necessity for any company and organization going forward.
While we know that the office is still very relevant and an important aspect of an organization, companies and organizations are still making changes. And it's worth asking, what are you seeing organizations prioritizing and restructuring their lease agreements?
Well, it's a little early to say what's going to happen in a post-COVID world. We are still in lockdown here in South Africa at level 3. And so we've yet to see what the new normal is going to be out there. But for sure, every tenant out there will be needing to take a good look at their lease agreement and to be able to call on the skills of a company such as Baker Street Properties, where we offer guidance in terms of our tenant relationship and consulting department, where we can take a lease agreement and advise on the best way forward for a tenant in terms of renegotiating his terms and taking opportunity of a lease that may be expiring, because right now what we are assured of is that the market has changed. And I'm afraid that it has changed to the detriment of landlords, but it has changed to the benefit of tenants. And we must always remember that the tenant out there needs to get all the help they can in an economy which is as poor as we're experiencing at the moment. So this post-COVID might be bad news for the property investors and the landlords alike, but it is most definitely a positive thing for tenants.
It is very important to take a conservative outlook and not jump to decisions too quickly when it comes to one of your biggest decisions for a business, being property. What would you suggest tenants keep in mind who are trying to navigate certainty or uncertainty with their offices right now?
In most companies, real estate, property, their lease agreements is probably the second to salaries, the second most expensive item on their profit and loss statements. It's something that it's a massive cost to a company. It's like anything. You want legal advice, you go to an attorney. You've got a problem physically, you go to a doctor. You pay your accountants a fortune to do your accounts. Why, for heaven's sakes, do companies not seek professional advice when it comes to their lease agreements, the expiry of the lease, the renewal of their lease agreements, and get good guidance, just if nothing else, to ensure that they are doing a market-related deal. Nothing more, nothing less, as long as it's market-related, because we consistently see tenants thinking that they've done market-related deals, and they've fallen well short.
Probably one of the best things any organization can do is recognize what are your strengths internally, but what should I outsource and seek advice from an external party who's obviously specializing in this area, in this market, and who can give you a good perspective and a comparison that works.
The first question they invariably say, well, but what's it going to cost? I go to an attorney for advice, costs me a fortune. I go to our accountants, costs me a fortune. What is this kind of thing going to cost us? And I can say that at Baker Street Properties, the way we would like to structure it is that it costs you nothing. We are prepared as a company to come in and share the risk with you. By doing so, what we're saying is that our fee will be a percentage, an agreed percentage between the parties of the savings that we achieve on the lease renegotiations. So if we don't save you anything, we come free of charge. Our skills, our experience, our knowledge, you get for free. But I can tell you in this market, at this time, we will achieve savings for you.
And that's always good to hear, that the service provider is willing to take that risk with their client during this time. It makes for meaningful support. You have such great relationships with all the major landlords out there. It makes far more sense for a third party to actually facilitate that potentially challenging conversation if you were to renegotiate your lease agreement, to have a facilitator that can navigate that conversation, given the relationships on both sides. Do you believe there's maybe a lack of awareness for that in the marketplace, for the relationships that a very experienced brokerage such as yourself have with landlords?
Yeah, you're right in that we do have very established professional relationships with nearly all, if not all, of the landlords that are out there. Certainly all of your main players. They know us incredibly well, being a main player in the commercial industrial market here in Cape Town. And the benefit of that is that those landlords know that when we get involved, that there is going to be a professional approach towards achieving a renegotiation that's acceptable to both parties. Ideally, in any negotiation, you want both parties to feel it's been a win-win. We're not saying that the landlords will be getting a below market rental. We're not saying to tenants that we're going to achieve a below market rental for them. What we're saying is that so long as you're paying market-related terms, both the landlord and the tenant should be happy with that result.
So thanks so much for chatting to us today.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.